started on the gems, or the rocks, pebbles, whatever you call them. I'm about to abstract them. So what I'm thinking about doing, I started them in watercolour. I love watercolour. I think it's one of the easiest, I mean, for me. You probably might have something else to say about it, but for the purposes of what I use it for, I think it's like one of the most easiest mediums to work in. Do you agree? And so satisfying, you know? You can kind of use it pretty much sort of dry-ish and then just drench it in water, and no matter what you do, I mean, I understand that you can mess up a piece in watercolour. I think you can with any medium, but as mediums go, I do think watercolour is one of the easiest to work in. So I've kind of dusted my watercolours off. If you don't know, this is the big one. I use Winsor & Newton. I'm going to call them pebbles because they're not really gems. Yeah, they're more pebbly-like, right? The way I'm starting off these pebbles is I've taken some of the colour notations from last week's video, New York Part 2, when I went to that gem and mineral exhibition. I've just taken a bit of inspiration from that. So what I've planned to do is go to the beach, and a lot of the beaches around these here parts, most of them, with a few exceptions, are just laden with like pebbles until the tide really goes out and then you get sand. But I just find these pebbles are just so varied in colour, size, everything. I'm really getting into them. In fact, I have since subscribed to a couple of artists on Instagram who just play with pebbles, and some of their pages, if I can find the one that I've started to follow, I'll link it down below or somewhere here. I got a lot of paper for my birthday from a friend. So what I'm probably going to do is fill a page up and then cut them out like I've been doing, you know, my little like stickeroonies. Well, I'm going to make a load of them and collage them together. I think that's also a way to go. What do you think? When I used to paint the pebbles or stones, especially like with the beach and a couple of other times that I may not have filmed, it's always been on the back of me in a bit of a rut. So what I do is, the last time I went out to the beach, I was with my nephew and we collected a load of rocks, like pebbles. When you're between projects and stuff, I know that sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but certainly myself, I can feel like at loose end, it's really hard for me to kind of get back into that kind of creative flow again. To counteract those lulls, when inspiration just fails you and decides to just go somewhere else, it can be quite daunting, because then you're left in this like really precarious situation where you're like, and then if you're not feeling it, it's just like you become negative and like, bleh. So to avoid that, somehow I stumbled on this great thing where I just go out and get a load of pebbles, really, and I sit there and I render them in all kinds of medium, but mainly either ink or watercolour. Watercolour actually more so, because as I stated before, it's such a forgiving medium, especially when you're doing quite abstract shapes. They're just shapes essentially. So I've got like a really rusty one. I think this is part of maybe an old construction. The reason I got this one was purely the colours and the textures. I thought it would be quite a good, really great observational tool as well, for you to sort of mix colour. You know, like when you go to the gym and you have to stretch out and do your like warm-ups. This is a brilliant exercise for that. You know, they don't have to look like anything. That's the beauty of it. You're not committed to like, oh, well, that's a car or that's a chair. It needs to look like this. It needs to be, a perspective needs to be right and the measurements need to be dead on. None of that, because it's a bloody pebble. It's a pebble, or a stone or a rock or whatever you want to call it. I'm not a geologist, as you probably already fathomed, so sorry to those that are. Anyway, disclaimer, tiny holes. All shapes and sizes all different textures. This one's pretty cool. I liked this one because it has like different colours in, as you can sort of see. I've got this one which is quite coarse, but the colour is just amazing. That really kind of almost like grey burgundy colour. This one, because it's got glitter in, you know what I'm like with my glitter. I don't know if it'll come up properly. Do you see it? Hopefully you do. Oh, there's a bug on it. Fly, fly, be free. And then these ones, which you'll quite often see, the page, in fact, that I started following 2 nights ago, most of them are these lined ones. Oh, so satisfying. The great thing about this, you know, doing these little exercises is, one, like I said, they warm you up, get you into the flow of it. 2, you're not committed to making it look like a specific thing. It is a pebble. They are all shapes and sizes, and it will read Pebble just by pure shape. Number 3, brilliant if you're wanting to practice in a specific medium. So whatever media it is, colour pencils, pens, watercolour, acrylic, gouache, soft pastels, you name it. Honestly, it's like changed my life. My process is I kind of just play. Well, that's basically the process. Play. So I've just, yeah, it's not going to drip. So I've just done these. I took loads of references from the gem exhibition, and I tried to work from them and it wasn't working out because obviously it is a 3-dimensional thing and I wasn't feeling it. So what I decided to do was just concentrate on the colour, focus on just creating a rudimentary shape, which is the shape you saw. I've got these ones, as you know, so what I might do with these is use them for just shape and texture and then render them in a colour. So I'm thinking about doing a whole page of like blue at the moment, or a whole page of neutrals. Oh, delish. So I've just popped these out because I'm thinking that some of these look a bit flat. Just done these, so I'll move these in a minute. Never organised, sorry about it guys. Just done these, as you've seen, and they are really textured. This one is one of my favourites. And I did a wobbly wobbly with glitter, but then I'm going to work on top of that one. So I just tried to kind of simplify them, wet the page, as you've seen, and then go over it with the pastels so it kind of goes really thick and just beautiful. So what I'm going to do is take this concept and apply it to what I've already got on 1 or 2 of these, see what it's like with the soft pastels. What do I need? I'm gonna go in with something darker, and I'll probably just use a bit of dirty water. It doesn't matter, does it? Just to do it, and then kind of go over, just to create some like texture and a bit of definition. I think this is what's needed on this one. So I don't want to overdo it because there are bits like marks on the watercolour that I just like, but I think that really makes a lot of difference. Oh, that is just delish. What I want to do is kind of build them up with different mediums. I'll probably get the oil pastel at some point. Also, have you ever tried to heat up oil pastel? If that's a thing, let me know. I've just thought about it there. Dip, dip, dip. Oh, it's just delicious, that one, isn't it? Oh. One thing I absolutely love is really just amazing contrast. That one's beautiful. Oh, I'm so excited. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna get some of this white, and you know it, I don't know whether you do. Those of you who saw me do the swatcheroonie will know that this goes on like butter. So I'm just gonna see if I can dip it, and just, it doesn't really work with the dippage, does it? It's better dry. It's better dry, guys. Oh, but it does create some nice marks. Ooh. Don't know about that experiment, to be honest. I put these on because I wanted to try and sort of emulate some of the textures within some of the pebbles. But I love, yeah, I don't know about the white. Probably actually what I'll do is I'll try and get rid of some of this white. Oh. It's made quite a nice creamy colour, to be fair, because it does mix quite well actually. It does work better on dry surfaces, so that we know. So let's try and get some of these pinks on the go. I always try and go for a darker just because I love the contrast. So I'll try and get some of these ridges in, much like this one. There you go, see those ridges? That's kind of what I'm going for. I find when you put it in the water, it really does. And if you're not happy with it, you can always just sort of mush around some of the texture. Does that make sense? So what do we think with that? Do we like that idea? I quite like that idea actually. So now what I'm going to do is see if this is, no, I love these jars. These are just like chutney jars. So what I'm going to do is just blop it on one of them. Probably do it on like the monochrome one. Don't really know what I'm doing. So I say this like I know what I'm doing, I really don't. Right, I'm going to leave that. That looks like it's got a lot of potential actually. Put some on this one. Oh, that one's good. I'm going to leave that a minute. Yeah, leave that. I'm totally inspired. So let's have a look then. Let's see if we can't create some texture. So you see this one? You've got a lot of like pitting. It actually does fall apart, to be fair. What I'm going to do is try and kind of recreate it with a bit of oil pastel. Now we want something a bit lighter now, so I'll leave it like that. I don't want to overdo it. I'm really happy. Perfect.